everyone, it's Froggy and I'm back again with another episode of Will a Wonderful World. So let's go ahead and... there's a green one in here. Who the heck is this guy? Bachelor's pad, keep out.
如果时间可以重来
And this is another Li Wen. We're gonna leave you to last, new person. Let's do this one. The weather had been getting warmer. I sat on the roof of the classroom building, watching the boys down on the basketball court. They were trying to compete to see who looked the coolest while making a shot. So childish. A few days ago, photos of me and Mr. Wen had been posted on the school BBS, and it had gone viral in school. I had to explain the whole thing to Miss Wang, and even the school supervisor. People in the school eventually learned that we were just neighbors and that we had not been living together. Still, there was some trashy people who insisted that it was not a coincidence that we were living so close. There were even some more blatant people who would follow me after school. However, those people were not going to get anything. Because ever since that day, I had not seen him myself. He hadn't come to school. He hadn't been home. The lights had been off every night. I didn't have the courage to go and knock on his door, even though it was right next to mine. Maybe he had moved away? Since I had brought him too much trouble? Just when my mind was racing all over the place, I got a text message from Jing. Breaking news! Mr. Wen is back! The art class this afternoon will resume as normal. I couldn't believe my eyes. However, he must have gone missing all these days because of the photos and everything. If I went to his class, wouldn't people in class gossip about us? Then I would be causing him even more trouble. But if I didn't go, people would still be gossiping, right? Ugh, what should I do? The dessert today in the school cafeteria was yogurt. I opened a cup, but then didn't really have much of an appetite for it. So I just left it on the table. It was so hot today. I moved my hand and knocked it over. The yogurt spilled all over the floor, making a big white mess. I took out some napkins and wiped the floor absent-mindedly. By the time I was done, the art class was already over. I lay on the roof, staring at the gray sky. Another text from Jing. The classroom was full today. You should have been there to see how I shut these people up for bad-mouthing you. Oh, and at the end of the class, Mr. Wen tore up everybody's sketches. This man. I probably should have gone to class. What should I do about the class the day after tomorrow? Li Wen. Okay, let's go to the next letter. Who's this? Bachelor's pad, keep out. In the 113th minute, Mario Gotez stopped the ball with a hit and perfect shot. Goal! Argentina had lost in the World Cup final. It was over. Game over. Oh, come on. I had stayed up the whole night for this. I pounded the table as hard as I could. No one was going to complain anyway. Everyone had already gone home. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here watching the final all by myself. Gaokao had been over a month ago. My best friends were all traveling around the country. No, around the globe. One would have been completely nuts to still be living in the school dorm. Yes, I was talking about myself. Well, Jimmy too. Oh, is this, Rocky? Since my family was moving and my parents were both too busy with their jobs, they had told me to stay at school for a couple more days. What was worse is I had to be in charge of moving myself, so I was unable to go out and have some fun. Ah, the last summer of high school wasted. I didn't know what Jimmy had been up to recently. See, it wasn't even 5 a.m. yet, and he was already gone. Well, we wouldn't be spending too many more days together anyways. Jimmy had said that his father's business seemed to be going well now, so they would be going back to Hong Kong soon. I told him that I'd like to do a formal send-off for him. By formal, I just meant getting some grilled chicken wings at the grill bar near school. He said it wasn't necessary. What a killjoy. I was too tired. I decided to eat that apple before I went to bed. I rinsed the apple off and put it on the desk, but I accidentally knocked it onto the floor. You dare hide from me, Apple? I'm gonna wash you again, and you are still getting eaten. I looked down and noticed a basin under Jimmy's bed. It was giving off a faint smell. I had a bad feeling about this. I pulled it out from under the bed out of curiosity. Oh boy. Dear God. I don't really believe in God, but I had to call out his name. It was filled with dirty clothes and stinking socks all submerged in water. And the real problem? Who knows how long these have been there? I didn't dare to guess the age of the little mushrooms that were growing and thriving on the— Ew! Jimmy! A strong, sour smell filled the air. Just like that, it was sitting in the middle of our room for over an hour. Jimmy finally came back. I decided not to go to sleep just so I can confront him about this disgusting thing. I'd been staring at it the entire time and I felt like I might pass out at any moment. Jimmy, did you ever worry about us getting cancer with a chemical weapon like this in our room? Alright, I'll clean it up now. And then he just dumped the entire basin, including the mushrooms, all into the common washing machine. Dear Lord! I had to call out his name once again. Jimmy had always been a great friend, smart, reliable, and loyal. The only problem was that he never cared about hygiene. Ew. I always considered myself to be pretty messy, but I never imagined I would meet someone even worse. I was stunned. Rocky. I knew it was Rocky! Start. Hey, I just realized. Have Jimmy and Rocky both graduated from high school already? Lee Wen's letter was about something that happened not long after the previous incident. She must still be in high school, right?
You're right. Even though their letters arrived together for us, the events they experienced might not have happened at the same time.
Yeah, I figured as much, because we're getting stuff from Alicia, which has like a 4-year difference, and then we're still getting stuff from Carlos. So either he's like literally just missing her, or these things happened like years apart.
In fact, they could have happened days apart, or months apart, or even years or centuries apart. For us, time is not an absolute concept. It's only relative. When we receive their letters is purely determined by casual links among them. For example, we have received a letter saying that Jimmy would be going back to Hong Kong after graduation. That means this event was already bound to happen.
I see.
Okay.
Let's try that. Okay, that did not help. Let's just completely move everything over. The yogurt tasted stranger than normal. Had it gone bad, maybe? Well, that would actually be great for me. I could just go and hide in the infirmary with a stomach ache as my excuse. With such a legitimate reason, nobody should be able to say anything else about me. I held my breath and drank the whole cup. Ugh. Disgusting. The art classroom was on the way to the infirmary. I couldn't help myself, so I snuck up to the back door and tried to peek inside through the small glass window. They were doing sketch practice today. Mr. Wen was standing with his back towards me, looking at Rocky's sketch. What was Rocky drawing? That Mr. Wen would be watching so closely. I stood up on my toes. He suddenly turned around. Thank God I crouched down just in time. However, the sudden movement must have caused my stomach to start hurting. It felt like it was a bad cramp. Fortunately, it wasn't too bad. I finally got to the infirmary with a hand pressed against my stomach. I stayed there until the end of the school. Jimmy had always half-assed everything, and he had never followed through with anything. He would never learn if I didn't teach him a lesson this time. Plus, I really couldn't stand this any longer. His dirty clothes and the mushrooms had spilled on the floor with the smelly water flooding through the room. Ugh. Ah, here came the star of the show. Jimmy just walked in. I let out a grunt of surprise and immediately walked over to his bed to pick up his precious gaming console. He had even stepped over a few mushrooms. You in? Jimmy recognized my anger and started cleaning the room without a word. as long as he learned his lesson. Ooh, an achievement. The end of high school. S rank and A rank. Okay, so not quite. So we're gonna go ahead and swap these. I moved my hand and knocked it over. The yogurt tasted kind of strange, or stronger than usual, I should say. Well, if it had gone bad, that would actually be great for me. I could just go and hide in the infirmary with a stomachache as my excuse. With such a legitimate reason, nobody could say anything else about me. I held my breath and drank the whole cup. The art classroom was on the way to the infirmary. I couldn't help myself, so I snuck up to the back door and tried to peek inside through the small glass window. Rocky was sound asleep, drooling with his mouth open. Jing was so focused, Mr. Wen would be insane to tear up her sketch this time. Mr. Wen was standing with his back towards me, looking at Jing's sketch. He must have liked it to be looking at it so closely. I stood up on my tiptoes and tried to see her sketch for myself. But he suddenly turned around. Thank God I crouched down just in time. However, the sudden movement must have caused my stomach to start hurting. It felt like it was a bad cramp. And it was getting worse and worse. I leaned against the door and crumpled. I felt like I was dreaming. In my dream, he was carrying me on his back and asking me where I wanted to go. I said I wanted to go and see the rainbow on Xuanlong Mountain. I heard that the rainbow was gorgeous there. He said okay. But Xuanlong Mountain was hard to get to. Even taxis wouldn't take us. So Mr. Wayne kept carrying me on his back, and he kept running, running, and running. I fell asleep in the dream, too. But did we ever get to see the rainbow or not? Nevertheless, it didn't really matter. I just wanted the dream to last a little longer, and longer, and longer. There we go. Ooh! Aw, he's cute. Went to Yingnan High School, loved tennis and soccer. Now, did we get anything new with you? Broken into someone's home, or didn't press charges, rumored to be living with the school teacher as well as, involved with the school teacher as well as living with him. Became an art teacher at Yingnan High School, robbed, attempted suicide by burning coal in a sealed room, saved Yang Ying, his childhood best friend, fainted due to exhaustion, discovered and saved in time by a neighbor. I'm really not getting a whole lot of him. Ugh, this poor kid. Institutionalized in a mental hospital. So it looks like he's only got 3 things for him, which sucks. I wanted more about him. Mr. Kwan's ex-princess of the Blood Gang. Barely any. Little Lamb Billy. Left Mexico to find his older sister in Hong Kong. Joined the Black Dragon Gang in Hong Kong. Well, her new picture's great. Okay, so she's gonna have a whole lot. Both parents died, lived with younger brother in the orphanage, Montelac. Started working at a coffee shop named Maple House, kidnapped from Maple House and sold off in an underground auction house. Murdered by Money Jia and was rescued by the Black Dragon Gang. No, murdered Money Jia, not murdered by. Soon became assassin in training, began assassin training and became the exclusive assassin for Ray Lin. Completed her first assassination mission, assassinated Warden Chris. Yikes. Favorite food is milk. Stray cat from Korea. A noble stray cat from Korea, I'm so sorry. Darkest thought, I should stuff dead rats into a human's bed. Proudest achievement, beat Blackie in a turf war. Especially unskilled at firearms. At 23, graduated from the Korean... Okay, did that. Managed to resolve a hostage situation caused by a domestic conflict.
Assisted Lieutenant Kang in freeing the other officers from a gang. And oh, we got a lot on him. Favorite food is McRonald's spicy burger and ice cream. He dislikes the other personality. Oh, that makes more sense. Okay. Favorite weapon is a Glock 43. Relationship 1, Chang Jung-min, rookie subordinate. Min Jun, subordinate, excellent with sniper rifles. Then we got Jian, subordinate, master of disguise, often goes undercover missions. Relationship 4, Kim Jong-ho, colleague, lieutenant in criminal investigation department, unit 3. Relationship 5, Captain Jong, the captain of the Busan police station, often referred to as the old man. Relationship 6, Choi Yo-han, old rival, leader of the Gangmun group with the Musan gang, mostly in charge of drugs and smuggling. His son Choi Do-sung was killed by Min Jun. Failed to free the hostage in the gang-related hostage situation. Not held responsible for what happened. I am so sorry. Okay, I have not been sleeping well lately. It's been too hot. Planned a secret rescue mission to free a colleague with Chang Jung-min. Joining halfway through the operation, the mission was successful. Neat. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.